So I was talking with my friend a while ago, and he asked me, why is my computer a mess and my desk is covered in Post-it notes? This can be really frustrating because it feels like we're not getting anything done. And it's also really overwhelming because, well, ADHD, we can be sensitive to our environments. The brutal truth of the matter is this world was not made for us. It was made for neurotypicals. And we are kind of left holding the bag, as it were. In other words, we're left trying to figure out how to operate in this world that wasn't designed for us. It can be really frustrating and overwhelming, like we just talked about. When I was 19, I spent some time in Mongolia, and I saw a glimpse of what the world was like hundreds of years ago when there were no computers, alarm clocks, or to-do lists. We would talk to people of the older generations, and I would love to ask them, when were you born? The answer I would always get would be more seasonal. They would say, I was born in the summertime. And I would say, what year? And they say, I don't know. So you ask them how old they are and they have no idea. And the funny part is they didn't care. It didn't matter to them at all. So here's the good news. We're not idiots.
Maybe you are smarter than me. But can you do this?
We figured out over the course of our life things that work and things that don't work. Here's 4 things that a lot of us have figured out that have helped us along the way. And if you haven't figured these things out, no big deal. Number 1, out of sight, out of mind. If something is not in front of us, we have learned through sad experience that we will forget about it.
I know I came in here for a reason.
Number 2, we are very easily distracted. If we're trying to think on something and something else comes along, what we were thinking about immediately goes out of our head. Number 3, we have learned to write things down because we don't trust our own brains. We don't trust our memory. And we know that if we don't externalize, if we don't get it out of our heads, we're going to be in trouble. And number 4, a lot of us have figured out how to reduce friction. Use the solution that's quick and simple and just gets it done.
Go that way, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
By the way, that doesn't include scratching our ADHD itch of potentially reinventing our whole system every couple of weeks. So all 4 of these things are really good. We've learned to rely on them. And so our computer gets covered in Post-it notes because we write things down. And our desk is a mess because we don't want to get distracted with things and we want to keep them in front of us so that we remember them. Our problems really come from not knowing the next 2 steps. Step number 5 is collection. It's where we take everything, all of those Post-it notes, everything that's on the desk that's messy, and we roll it up into one place that we know where to go and to look every time. The more places we have to look, the worse it's going to be. We need this to be simple, insanely simple. We go to the same place every time. We process things the same way every time. How are we going to do this with our desk being a mess and our computer covered in Post-it notes? If we're going to use intervals, set a timer every 2 hours maybe, or hour and a half, whatever works for you. If you'd rather do it at a specific time of day, set an alarm. Usually the end of like the business day, 4 or 5 o'clock works pretty well. So here's the key. We collect all of the Post-it notes and we write them down in one place. That's the single most important thing. If you get anything out of this video, get that. This can be a notebook for those of us that like to use paper, but it can also be a file on the computer. It can be a to-do list. It can be something using a specific program that you have. Doesn't matter, wherever. It just has to be the same place every time, a place you know where to look. And then we take all the Post-it notes and we throw them away. And that way we know we're not going to get double entries. When we do this every day, we will develop a habit. As people who are neurospicy, we don't have problems developing habits. We just have to be interested in developing the habit. That's kind of the hard part. But if we have an interest in developing a habit, no problems. Step number 6 and the final step is to review. We can set an alarm. I set mine for before when I go to bed, and I go through and I review what I wrote down that day. As I review what I wrote down that day,
You must not read from the book!
I ask myself a few questions. The first one is this something that I can actually do anything about? If it is, great. If not, put it somewhere else in an archive, or just delete it? If I can do something about it, what's the smallest step I can use to move this forward? This is about reducing friction and making sure that we don't run into overwhelm while we're trying to get things done. Last question, when can I do this? Remember, if your book's solid for weeks, it's not really realistic. So even if we want to do it, maybe we should shelve it for later or delegate it or hire someone else to do it. But write down the date you're going to do it. This isn't any kind of neurotypical step or anything. We're not necessarily holding ourselves to doing it at that date. This is just a plan. And as we know, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. So just to mix things up a little, what's the worst movie you've ever seen? Put it in the comments. Let the flame wars begin. And remember, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you. And I look forward to the next one where we engineer the crap out of ADHD. If you ever want to be humbled, trying to talk in front of a camera, yeah, spend some time doing that.